You're in pain. You've missed work and now you're stuck wondering what your case is actually worth, or if the insurance company's number is even close to fair. They won't tell you how they came up with it, and you're worried that accepting too soon could leave you stuck with medical bills later on. I'm Mama Justice, a personal injury attorney here in Mississippi, and I've helped thousands of people understand the real value of their car accident claims. In this video, I'll break down exactly what goes into a settlement amount and how to tell if you're getting lowballed or getting what you deserve. Because once you know what your case is truly worth, you can make a smarter decision and fight for a payout that actually covers what you've lost. So, you've been in a car wreck here in Mississippi. Your vehicle's a mess, you're hurting, and you keep hearing, file a claim. But let's be real. The first question on your mind is, how much money could I actually get for this? If you're looking for a straight answer, I'll give it to you. But I'll also walk you through exactly how these numbers get calculated, right here in our state. Let me break it down for you so you can get a clear, honest picture of what impacts the value of your car crash claim here in Mississippi. If there's one thing that sets the starting point for almost every crash, it's your medical expenses. These are your hospital bills, doctor visits, physical therapy, prescription medications, and even the future treatments that you might need. Here's the bottom line. The more severe your injuries, the more medical care you need. The higher your claim value grows. In Mississippi, we use your actual bills as evidence. Say you broke your leg and needed surgery. If your ER visit, surgery, follow-ups, and rehab add to, say, $25,000, that becomes a big anchor for your claim. But don't forget future costs. Suppose your doctor says you'll need a second surgery or maybe another year of therapy. We can include those as a projected cost too. I once had a client from Jackson who thought her claim was worth just what she had already paid, but her doctor said she'd need a shoulder operation in 6 months. We made sure that got included, and the insurance company had to pay for it. The next big piece is lost income. Your injuries kept you out of work, even if it's just for a few days. Mississippi law says you can ask for that money back. That includes hourly pay, salary, overtime, bonuses, and sometimes even missed opportunities. Let's say you're a mechanic in Hattiesburg earning $800 a week. You're out of work for 4 weeks after the crash. That's $3,200 right there. But what if you can't go back to the same job because your injuries are permanent? Or maybe you can only work part-time now. That lost future earning power can be added to your claim. Here's a real example. I helped a truck driver from Tupelo who could never drive long haul again after his accident. He switched to a lower paying desk job. We calculated the difference, not just now, but over the next 10 years. That made his claim much larger. Now, here's where things get more personal. Mississippi law allows you to recover for pain and suffering, the physical pain, emotional distress, sleepless nights, anxiety about driving again, and all the ways your life has changed because of the crash. There's no receipt for pain and suffering, but that doesn't mean it's not real. Insurance companies and juries look at how severe your injuries are, how long recovery takes, whether you're left with scars or permanent problems, and even how your relationships or hobbies change. For example, I represented a grandmother from Biloxi who could no longer garden with her grandkids after her back injury. That loss meant a lot, and we made sure her claim reflected it. In Mississippi, there's no exact formula, but many times pain and suffering is calculated as a multiple of your medical bills. For example, 2 or 3 times the amount, depending on the severity. But remember, every case is unique. Let's not forget your car itself. If your vehicle was damaged or totaled, the insurance company is responsible for paying you for the fair market value to repair the car. Or if it's a total loss, what was the worth right before the crash? This is very straightforward, but there are some tricks. Sometimes the insurance company tries to lowball you, offering you less than what your car is actually worth. Always check their offer against real listings in your area. If your old F-150 was in great shape, don't settle for a junk value. Also, Mississippi law says you can recover for loss of use, like rental car cost while yours is in the shop. and in some cases, the diminished value of your car if it's been repaired, but now it's worth less because it has a wreck on the record. Now, here's the part a lot of folks overlook. Mississippi follows what's called a pure comparative fault rule. Don't let that phrase scare you. It just means your claim value can be reduced if you're found partly at fault for the crash. For example, let's say you're rear-ended in Gulfport, but you also had a broken tail light. If a jury decides you were 20% at fault and your claim was worth $100,000, you would get $80,000. The other driver's insurance pays, but your share is reduced by your percentage of fault. This rule is important, especially when insurance adjusters start pointing fingers. They may try to say you were speeding, not wearing a seatbelt, or distracted. That's why it's so important to have someone fighting for you on your side to keep that percentage as low as possible. Even if your damages are sky high, there's often a cap on how much you can actually collect. In Mississippi, every driver is required to carry a minimal amount of liability insurance. Right now, that's $25,000 per person or $50,000 per accident for bodily injury. If your crash involves someone with just the minimum coverage and your bills are higher than that policy, you may have to look at your own uninsured or underinsured motorist coverage, or even go after the driver personally. But collecting more than the insurance limit can be tough. Here's why this matters. I've worked with a family in Starkville hit by a driver with a state minimum insurance policy. Their damages were much higher than $25,000, but the insurance company couldn't pay more than the policy limit. We were able to find extra coverage under their own policy, but it did take some digging. Always check every possible insurance source. This is often a game changer in Mississippi claims. The more clear, thorough evidence you have, the more you can back up your number. This means police reports, photos of the scene, medical reports, witness statements, and anything else that proves what happened and how badly you were hurt. I can tell you about a case in Meridian where the other driver's insurance tried to blame my client for the crash. But we had traffic cam video showing the other driver ran the red light. That one piece of evidence pushed the insurance company to settle, and the settlement was almost double their original offer. If you haven't gathered this stuff yet, do it now. And if you can't, a good lawyer knows how to get it for you. Mississippi law gives you 3 years from the date of the crash to file a lawsuit for personal injury. That sounds like plenty of time, but the sooner you start, the fresher the evidence, the better your memory, and the more likely you will be to get a fair deal. Insurance companies know most people and sometimes use that to their advantage. Don't let them. I've seen too many folks miss out on thousands of dollars by waiting too long or thinking they'll get to it later. So, back to the big question. How much is your car crash claim worth here in Mississippi? As you can see, it's not just a simple number. It depends on your medical bills, lost wages, pain and suffering, car damage, fault percentage, insurance limits, and how strong your evidence is. I've seen claims settle for just a few $1,000s, and I've seen others reach hundreds of thousands of dollars. I've seen some big verdicts at trial when the case was strong and the injuries were severe. But every case is different. The only way to know your real number is to gather all your records, talk honestly about your injuries and losses, and work with someone who knows how to push back when the insurance company tries to lowball you. If you're just starting out, here's what I recommend. Keep every bill, receipt, and pay stub. Write down everything you remember about the crash. Take photos of your injuries and your car. Don't sign anything from the insurance company without talking to a lawyer first. Sometimes a quick consult can show you your options you didn't even know you had. Ready for the next step? We've just covered how to figure out what your car crash claim is worth here in Mississippi. But there's something even more important. What you do in the moments and days right after a wreck can make or break your entire case. Don't miss my next video. What should you do immediately following a car accident in Mississippi? I'll walk you through the exact steps to protect your health, your rights, and your wallet, including the biggest mistake I see people make after a crash. Go watch that video now. There's a lot at stake, and you don't want to lose out just because you missed a step. See you over there.